What's up, folks?
Hey, everybody. How's it going tonight?
We are back.
We are, and we have a special guest tonight, and I'm excited to get him on when we bring him on. He's backstage right now, but Rusty, do you want to say hello to everybody? Looks we got quite a few people in chat.
Heck yeah.
So,
let's
awesome.
scroll up here to the top, get close to the top here and see what we got. Amy, Joe, Perry the Carving Wizard, Beeden Crazy, Miss Francis, June's House of Crafts, Artsy Doodles. And let's see, Johnny's Lathe Craft as featured on the intro there. Jeff Dowdy, Dad, what's up, buddy? Soldier Farms. Yeah, let's see who else we got. Don't want to miss anybody.
There was a new name in chat.
Yeah, I know. I seen it earlier. Let's see, June, Dad, Perry, Joseph Keller, Tim List. What's up, buddy?
I'll try and find it.
I think it was like Beard something.
Yeah, I don't see it now.
Raja. Yeah, I don't either.
That's weird.
Oh, wait. Top chat, live chat. Sometimes that'll cover up names.
All right, well, Beard something. We saw you. We want to say hi, but we can't see you again. So if you're still in chat, type in that you're in chat so we can say hi to you because you were excited to see Wes. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I think it's going to be a awesome show. We have a pretty awesome person with us tonight, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Wes's channel. I'm sure most of you know, Wes shares DIY projects, woodworking tips, tool reviews, home improvement tutorials. His vibe is hands-on and practical with a focus on teaching viewers that nothing is impossible, just things you haven't learned yet. And I think that is pretty awesome. And he's pretty passionate in the work that he does.
Yep.
And, I enjoy his lives. I enjoy watching him sit down in front of everybody and figure out.
I kind of consider him a DIY maker because he gets into everything.
He does.
He's working on cars. He's working on freaking houses. He's making knives. Holy crap.
Yeah, what I've got down here, includes workshop projects, tool guidance, shop updates, short showing quick tips, like which sandpaper to use. Really?
Right?
Which sandpaper to use, or simple woodworking tricks. So I'm not going to keep them backstage any longer.
We need to get him out.
So please welcome Wesdoesit to the show.
There he is. Boom.
Hey.
Here we go.
How you doing?
That's what I'm talking about.
So Wes, thank you for being here tonight. Was I right on my introduction? Was all that pretty much correct?
Perfect.
Awesome. Now, in your words, would you like to tell everybody about your channel? Because it will come out much better from you.
My channel, I'm by trade, I'm a contractor. I remodel houses for a living. I remodel bathrooms, kitchens, stuff like that, build decks, whatever. And my formal training is in art. Like I was an art school kid and I was an art school major in college. And I was roofing to go through college. And after I got out of college, I got a job at an ad agency. I didn't like drawing for people who couldn't draw. So I just did not have the demeanor for it. So I went back to construction, and fortunately I was able to work on some really nice houses. And I was just curious about how each thing was done eventually, blah, 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 blah. this woodworking I discovered a couple years ago. Started uploading videos about a year ago, but I started with an interest in it about 2 years ago. And I really just wanted to kind of start chronicling what I was learning and some of the things that I could pass on. And my first mind in it was to, if my kids were too young at the time or didn't have an interest in it at the time, they could still get the information. Like later, it would be cataloged that if they needed to know how to change spark plug, if they needed to know how to, build a table, it would be there. It would be available. Like I've soaked up a lot of information over the years, and I like soaking up information. And then woodworking is a whole new thing. So it's just kind of become what it's evolved to. So
now, I'm really impressed because you excuse me, you said that this is like your year anniversary, and you have almost 15,000 subscribers. That's awesome.
Yeah. That is
in 1 year. That's really good.
Yeah, no good.
Listen, I remember when 50, I woke up the morning that I had 50 subscribers, and I couldn't wait to wake my wife up like, yo, I got 50 people. It blows my mind that many people want to see anything I'd have to say. But I'm glad that people find some of it useful or entertaining or whatever they see in it. It blows my mind the way it moves.
I don't know how to explain it, but you have a way of explaining it. Like I fall over my words and stuff, I really have to stop and think about what I'm going to say or try to say, it's like I get stage fright and I just draw a blank in front, but you're just so smooth, and you can just, put the words out there and I envy that. I wished I could, do some things to make myself better at it.
Yeah, Plato said Wes is so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a story
that's
that
what
I've got,
it is.
and I don't know if he remembers this, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what he said. But one day I was watching Wes's live, and no joke, somebody came into the chat and goes, "Are you just doing this for views?" Do you remember that, Wes?
Yeah.
And you said something that was hilarious. I can't remember what it was, but you were kind of stumped. Like, well, yeah, I am doing this for views.
Like, what else is there to do? Like, it's a camera. Like,
right? Yeah.
It's the views, not doing it on the radio. I guess I'm doing it for views. All
right, Rusty, you got any questions that you want to ask before I get into what I'm going to do?
Sure. So before YouTube, what kind of projects, and I think I got an idea. What kind of projects, were you tinkering with just for fun? Or did you do anything? Did you?
I had a lot of interesting thing is that I had a lot of my fun at work, right? Because I've been self-employed for 30 years. Like my client base right now are people who trust me and my design eye and whatever. So when they say, hey, the only thing I want in this bathroom is to be green, go crazy, then I'm good with. Like it's fulfilling in that way. But it takes a long time before you get to the end of a project like that. So on the day-to-day, it's just work with that in mind at the end. But here in the shop, I can build a mallet in a day. I can build a knife in a day, and I can get that gratification and I feel like a little bit more connected to the guys who actually are craftsmen in those respects. Because I watch a lot of those videos, like Ron, Ron's Homemade is like one of my favorite channels because he is masterful and he does a few things, but mostly knives and accessory, and it's masterful. Now, I could never do the same thing every day. It would drive me crazy because on day 5, it would feel like work to me, and I'd get disgusted with it, and I'd want to go have fun again.
Right.
And for me, that's a new project or a new skill or a new attempt at a new thing. And I'm a contractor. I've got all these tools anyway. It's like, give it a shot.
Right.
Some of my favorite videos of watching you roll your lives is excuse me, when you're really sitting there trying to figure something out. I mean, you really get into dissecting. Like I was watching one of your mallets and you had to figure out a way to attach it. I think because you cut the arm a little bit too small or off, and then you're sitting over here and trying to figure out how to wedge it in and get it to stay. And those are some of the times I really like just watching, because it's like you are teaching me how to troubleshoot an issue that I don't even know I have yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I really like about your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Was there a specific moment when you realized your channel could become something bigger than just a hobby? Like you had mentioned earlier, you started it for the family, you started it for documenting stuff. And you mentioned the 50 views, but was there a moment where you realized that, hey, I've got something here, or have you even thought that yet?
I haven't really thought that yet. I'll be honest with you, right? The first person who made me think that it was even possible that it could happen, like meaning that I could be somewhat successful at a YouTube channel, was a guy who did not look ordinary and had a bunch of tattoos. And he was showing that, look at this beautiful bathroom I've just done. And this is the face of a guy who's got enough skill set that it doesn't matter that I look like this to do this kind of work, right? And I just was like, well, if that guy can do it, I can do all these things. I just got to figure out how to film it. And then I found, and he was wildly successful. And then after further investigation, turns out he also does OnlyFans real heavy on the side. The bulk of his whole stick, right? But I didn't know that then. But I thought, oh, if that guy can do it just being a regular dude that's not particularly good looking, I'm a regular dude, not particularly good looking, but I can do stuff and people might want to watch the stuff I do. But the OnlyFans, I think I'm past that. But
okay, so I was gonna ask, and not that I wanted to join, but you mentioned the OnlyFans, and you mentioned the dude could do YouTube, looking how he did, and he had an OnlyFans. Please, you don't have an OnlyFans, do you?
Well, I thought he was announcing that he was starting one right here.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. Wes is starting an OnlyFans.
Oh, no.
Just for his feet.
What I'm saying is, by the time I found out, I had already done way more than I expected I really could do.
Right.
At all. And the conversation is really the motivator. Like when people are commenting on my videos, and I'm mostly shorts and stuff, or if they're commenting in the chat or they're asking questions or something in the chat, I want to give all this information out. I've been collecting information in a particular arena for many years.
Right.
So my kids don't want to hear it yet, and my wife is, how much conversation can she have about mallets, and this is like a group of people who really are genuinely interested or really do have particular questions. And if I can help, I really enjoyed that part of it.
I understand that. And I want to say something really quick. Backroad Bills. Yeah, Backroad Bill. Thank you for becoming a member tonight. That's awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the membership. And Wes, I get that, because when I go at my videos, whether I'm carving or making something, you said something earlier that, it really hit home. I do want to have that library. So when my grandkids grow up, I have one grandson now who comes in the shop with me, every once in a while, helps me out. But as he gets older, if he wants to know something, he can come and see Papa make this, or he can go and try and learn. And it's really satisfactory or satisfying when you can make that one-on-one connection with somebody online, like you said, whether they're asking questions or they email you later, but you have that connection. That is so satisfying. So I completely understand what you're saying.
It's kind of crazy that, if you think about the time that we're in, and you've both referenced it, being able to document something that's going to be easy for your grandkids, great grandkids. We don't know how long any of this is going to last, but that wasn't there, at least not as easily obtainable, 35 years ago, 40 years ago. I mean, if somebody wanted to, have a record or to record something or write a book or whatever, the barrier to entry was so high. You had to convince a company to make the book and put it out and publish it and do all that. But now you can just do it on your own. And it's this record that it could last forever, potentially,
Sure. My grandfather built his own house and raised 13 kids there, right? And he and my grandmother. I didn't learn not one construction thing from him, right? By the time I was even vaguely interested in it, he was a very old man and he was not going to be around very long. My dad and I didn't have the greatest of relationships, but he'd done essentially every job I had done in construction as well. He and my uncle added a room to our house growing up. They put a roof on our house growing up. I didn't learn any of these things from him because by the time I was interested in this stuff, I was in another state, and my father had a degenerative eye disease. So by that time he was blind. But there's no way to, I'm glad that I've got all these trades. I'm glad I got all these skills. I would have preferred to get it from who I got it from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yep. So if, in case my kids decide later, then they'll have the availability. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't want to push them into anything, into my life, but I also don't want it not to be available to them.
Yep. And that makes perfect sense because, like I said, I'm that way with my grandson, and future grandchildren that I don't know I even have yet, who may come later on or, while I'm gone, it doesn't matter. They can always go to that.
Of course, this all depends on whether or not this comet or whatever this thing is coming into the solar system here doesn't come crashing into Earth and destroy us all. There's that.
Well, I mean, I'm building this workshop, so if it does come, head to Douglasville.
Yeah.
It'll be good here.
Head to Douglasville.
It'll be good here. Don't worry
So
about it.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick, just to take a little pressure off of you. A few years back, and you might appreciate this, being from Atlanta and working downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, my wife was going down there for some seminars, and I would go with her, and we stayed in downtown Atlanta because that was right where her seminars were.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day she asked me, "Can you go to the drugstore and pick up something?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't even know where one's at. I haven't seen one." So I went downstairs to the front desk, and I asked them where the nearest drugstore was. Well, they gave me a map. They said, "Yeah, just go out onto P Street and turn right and follow this map." I didn't know. I did not know there was a Peachtree North, Peachtree South, Peachtree West, East. So I'm walking.
Yeah.
I'm walking. I'm like Forrest, but only Forrest runs. I was walking. And I had this big old camera on me, all right, because I used to do photography.
Oh.
So now I'm lost. I get lost. And I asked somebody, and I'm like, "Look, I'm trying to find a drugstore." Long story short, I ended up 3 hours walking around downtown or walking around Atlanta as hot as can be, past this park with a bunch of homeless people. And like I said, I got this big camera here. Finally, I find a drugstore. I get what I needed. I come out, I look around, and I'm like, how the heck do I even get back? So at this point, I'm mad. I'm lost, I'm fat, and I'm hot, and I'm sweaty. And all I could see in the distance was just the tops of the buildings in downtown Atlanta. So believe it or not, while I'm walking, I take out my camera and I'm taking pictures of things as I'm walking through Atlanta. So I start flicking through my camera to say, okay, I've been here. I know where I'm at now. And I had to use my camera basically to get me back. And she got back to the hotel that night. She's like, "So how was your day?" And I was like, "You know what? You can imagine what I said." But it ended up it was bad. So the next morning I started thinking about it, and I was like, it was actually pretty cool. As I'm flicking through the camera, I'm like, that was pretty awesome. I actually seen quite a few things. I was mad, but I seen a lot of good things. So the next day she's like, "So what are you going to do today?" I said, think I'm going to go get lost again. That was pretty fun. So I ended up finding the World at Coke, Centennial Park. And I actually ended up at I think it's the Staples Center there in Atlanta, right?
In Atlanta, no, Staples Center, I think is in LA now.
Okay, but there was a football stadium there for the Falcons.
Oh, we got the Mercedes-Benz Stadium now, I think. But
yeah, I found that by mistake, and that was cool seeing that. And I ended up going to a lot of places, and then I found out something else on my trek, that when you take MARTA to 5 Points, it doesn't actually drop you off at 5 Points. It drops you off in a neighborhood, and you have to find 5 Points.
Oh yeah, actual 5 Points.
Yeah, so I was going to the Vortex, and the Vortex is downtown.
There's little 5 Points, which are completely different. There's little 5 Points, the district, and then there's 5 Points, the district, the downtown historic sort of retail space.
But little retail space, because I was looking for the Vortex, the restaurant that has the big steps.
That's in little 5 Points.
Well, see, that's no wonder I was lost. I didn't know which 5 Points I was going to.
Yeah.
All All right, we're gonna reel this back in. I wanted to share that story because that was funny, but no, I did not know there was a 5 points and a little 5 points. The place I was at, the Vortex was there. It was like a art district, and it was really cool.
Yeah, that's little 5 points.
So I guess what we've all learned here is do not go with Deland to any place he's not familiar with because you're going to get lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Okay.
Me too. Like, I gotta have GPS. That's it. Like, there's not even. I don't even bother to try to remember directions. I don't have the hardware for it. I just be like, okay, yeah. Give me the address, please. Let's tell the computer.
Yep.
Well, see, the only problem with that is as far out as I live, you can't put my address in and it bring you here. It takes you 5 miles to the other end of the road. And nobody has ever put in my address and got here with GPS. It's crazy.
That's what Walmarts are for. I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you at the Walmart.
That's right. or the Waffle House. I'll meet you at the Waffle House at X.
For sure.
All right. How does everybody's volume sound? I'm getting a little breaking up here. I'm just making sure. Is the volume okay with everybody?
Yeah.
You're
not even breaking up. You're not breaking up on me at all.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to have another incident to where the whole live was all blah, 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 blah. So okay, as long as we're good. But yeah, okay, let's get back to a question.
I got one. Let me do one.
All right, go ahead.
So this is involving the creative process. How do you decide which projects are worth filming versus, this is just something that you're doing for yourself and you don't.
I gotta go backstage for a second.
Okay.
I mostly decide that by what I think would be entertaining to watch. Like, if I don't think it'd be entertaining to watch, then I don't bother, because particularly if it's also utilitarian, because I can do it way faster than if I film it anyway.
Right.
So, but generally, if I'm trying to learn something, there's an element to the learning it that did not exist before social media. And that is, you can have a dozen experts in there who would know way more than you, who can walk you through the process in real time.
Right.
And that is an amazing tool for a kid who grew up reading encyclopedias for fun. To have access to other people who have not only the information, but the actual skill set, the background to say, no, you're doing that part wrong if you want this result. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So let me see this other one. Where was it at? Here we go. So was there a learning curve to the filming and editing? Like, did you just pick it up really, really easily, or was it something that, it took a little bit for you to get a hold of the editing, using the editing software and stuff?
I'm gonna date myself. Like, I'm from a Corel Draw era, right? Which is like 90s illustration software, the first digital stuff. So for me, in theory, I know how to frame my shot. And like Delon, I was a photographer for a while. Every now and then I would just take a year off from contracting and do something else that I thought would be fulfilling or I could be good at enough to make money. And photography was one of those things. Illustration was one of those things. And at the times that I could do them, it's a similar freedom to what I'm doing now, because I'm not chasing anything that I'm filming to make money because it takes so long to make money. And then when you do, you realize it's not money, not real money. And maybe I'll engage it enough to do that. But my editing to this time has been purely in-app, YouTube, Shorts app, and that's pretty much it. I've recently started trying to learn Adobe Premiere and how to do some long form stuff, which is coming. But that part of it is not as fulfilling to me as the interactive part of doing it live.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
You know, and the shorts I can tolerate. You know, if you do a 1 minute short, you might take half hour, 45 minutes to put that footage together and then do it in app and then try to find some background music that sounds good with it or cool or whatever. But long form for that, for me and my ADHD, is hard to get me to sit down for 2 hours and edit anything.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I've got a particular talent for it. I don't think. I think I've just got tools that I can handle at my disposal, and they've got enough in-house edit. Like I did like Instagram Reels for like a year before I got on YouTube. So that was a lot similar.
Right.
See, I kind of like the editing, and I want to get into the editing a little bit more. I cannot take an hour and a half to do a short. I do a short. I push the camera. I hit go for 30 seconds. Boom, short's done. Is what it is. Now, like you, I love the lives because for me, it gives me a lot of interaction with people. You know, outside of work, you know, besides family and stuff. I mean, I got friends and stuff, but a lot of times when I'm in the garage working, it's just me. It's either me and the radio or it's just me. And sometimes it's nice to look up at the chat and, you know, see what they're talking about, see what they're asking. So that part I do like. Now, the long form videos for me, they help me quite a bit. And I've talked about this before. I have depression and anxiety. So when I have those moments to where, you know, I'm having a moment, we'll just say, if I can get into the garage and I can start focusing on a project and building that project, that helps me out tremendously. And I found that when I'm doing the long form videos, you know, having to focus on the camera angle, the cuts, everything, it kind of blocks out all that noise inside my head and helps me focus and kind of reel me back in. So it's kind of 50-50 for both. But I do want to say, Moyak, thank you for becoming a member tonight. And also, if you didn't hear me last week, I want to thank you for the memberships that you gifted. So Moyak Scorpion, thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you for being here. And thank you very much for the memberships that you gifted. And I want to go through chat. Well, go ahead, Rusty.
Let me ask, I'm going to ask chat a question here. So I keep forgetting, I just found the button where I can throw the chat up on the screen there. Do you see that, Dorian?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
So does chat want me to, do y'all like that being up there? Does it matter? You don't care? You know, like whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
Just leave it there. I think it looks good.
Well, on my monitor, it doubles it up. It's got a chat over top of a chat.
Oh, wow. Oh, Wes, you didn't have to do 5 memberships. Thank you, though.
That's awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Whole path.
I appreciate it. So okay, let's keep this going. We're getting so if it's doubling up on Wes's, go ahead and remove it so he can see chat. And chat, if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask Wes, please tag me or Rusty in it so we can highlight it and get the question to Wes. That would be awesome. But I do have go ahead, Rusty.
I got a thing. So I'm just going to throw it out there, Wes. Since we're neighbors, I sure would like to, if you'd be up for it, I'd like to come hang out with you and let you teach me some stuff because I don't know anything, and I'm just look. I can barely nail wood together, man.
Yeah, you come any time for sure. This is just me in my garage. You're absolutely welcome to come through.
That'd be awesome, man.
Whatever you want, out of what I can put together here for sure.
So when Rusty says that, he's being authentic because most of the time his wife is doing all the making. He's just there looking pretty. So
yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. All right. Joseph Keller says, "What was your biggest hurdle starting out?" And I'm guessing, for YouTube, I guess. Was there a point like, you know what, I'm going to do this, or I don't know. What was your biggest hurdle?
That I'm okay. So I don't believe that I have a television face. I don't personally like to hear my own voice played back to me. And so for those reasons, I had to do the Facebook Reels and the Instagram Reels first because I knew those people personally, right? So friends and family commenting and saying, "Oh, that looks cool what you did," or whatever, it boosts my confidence enough to get decent enough at it that I felt competent. And when I feel competent in a space, that's when I'm willing to really kind of step into that space.
Right.
I'm confident, I think, in the space of the shorts, and in your own shop, everybody's competent. So the live are just turning the camera on. The hardest part for me is not getting stage fright and keeping myself distracted enough with the work to not freak out if I look up and there's more than 10 people in the chat.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing for me.
So I think you answered this earlier, but I want to, because it was asked, I want to, Moyak asked, what got you into woodworking and who was your inspiration to pursue it? So I think you answered that, but if you want to answer that again, and also Perry, I believe, let me scroll back up here. No, Plato said, and I agree with this, you've got a great style and presentation.
Yeah.
So don't ever, I mean, you
throw that look, everybody, when they get put in a position where they, are going to record themselves, I'm the same way. Everybody hates the sound of their own voice. They always think they sound a whole lot dumber than what they actually do. And, they hate, like I do. I hate watching, it's like, oh God, really? You did that? Oh, geez. But no, you take it from all of us, Pilato, everybody, you've got the style, man. You've got the voice. You got it, my friend. There's no doubt about it.
Backroad builds or backroad built. I will put this out here to you, and if you send me an email, I will be more than happy to facilitate this. He said, "Thanks for saying that. I want to do a live sometimes, but feel the same." So I'm going to say this before we get to Wes to answer that question. Sometimes it is easier to go live with other people than to try and go live solo by yourself for the first time.
I hate going live solo. I hate it.
If you are having reservations about going live, solo and you want to come live with Rusty and I, or me, Rusty, however,
whatever,
we can go live together, once or twice, get you comfortable and get you moving. Because I don't want that to hold back anybody from pursuing what they want to do. So, all right, Wes, your inspiration and what got you into woodworking?
Always been interested in woodworking as a like I don't know how this is universally viewed, but in my arenas, right, there's levels and different types of carpentry. Like there's guys who frame houses, right?
I'll be right back.
And then once you can frame a house, the next level is like finished carpentry, right? Like doing the angles of the crown molding and trim and things like that, trim carpentry. And then it is cabinet building. Can you do drawers and dovetails and build shakers and things like that? And,
yeah,
5-panel doors and that kind of thing. And then as far as a house goes, that's it. So I did all those other things. And then it's like, I built my first mallet somewhere around here to use on a deck. I used it to clobber big 4x4s and 4x6s into joints and things like that. And it just worked out really well. And one of my electrician friends came by one day on the site with his son, and he said, "Oh, that's a cool hammer." And he wanted it. And he was like, "Oh, no, son, he's working with that." And I was like, "Yeah, you can take it." A couple 2x4s and a 1x down the middle, and it was glued and screwed together. But I beveled the edges and all that little stuff just because I'm a diva. And I enjoyed building the next one. And then I was like, oh, I really like doing this. It's, fine detail, it just intrigues me. And, it just feels like the next level of carpentry or dealing with wood for me. Because it's a different world.
Joseph Keller says, if you could go back and restart your journey here on you, what would you change or think you could have done better?
This is the best real estate advice that I have for you. It is the exact same thing. The best time to buy was yesterday. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today.
Nice.
The worst time is tomorrow.
Yep. And I've got to jump in on that real quick because yes, two things I want to say. A, if you're going to start. There's no better time like now, like Wes said. And they are talking about iron skillet cornbread in the chat. So I need to jump onto some of this cornbread because Matt Carves has never had cornbread.
What?
And yeah, Matt Carves has never had cornbread. And
is it in the UK or something?
What's that?
Is it in the UK or something?
Yeah, he's in the UK.
Oh, okay.
And if you've never had cornbread and milk with a little bit of sugar, your whole life means nothing. Your whole life means nothing. You need Southern-made cornbread and milk with a little bit of sugar, and your life will begin. So don't go buy any of that box stuff. You got to make your own cornbread, and it has to be in an iron skillet. Boom, we're done.
Amen. All right, Pilato Creations. He's getting a little hurt because Deland, passed over his questions. Whatever, Pilato. What is your favorite YouTube channel, Wes? What's your favorite YouTube channel, and why is it Pilato Creations?
It is Pilato Creations because of that soothing DJ voice. Like Pilato, like Dylan and Pilato have like what like those voices, man. Like because I can turn it on and just walk back and forth to the living room, and Pilato will be making his thing that he's making, but he's good at talking while he's doing it. Whereas I am either talking or I'm doing it. And I really do like Pilato's channel. It really is one of my favorites.
I didn't know Pilato has a channel. I didn't know. How we doing?
And Pilato makes all of his stuff. Like he gifts everything. Like he's like, I'm making this for my son-in-law, or I'm making this for my wife. I'm making this for the kids at the church. Like, I can't think of a better reason to be making anything.
He hasn't made me anything.
And since we're talking about Pilato and his channel, everybody in chat, if you have not yet, I pinned Wes's channel at the top of the comments, so please go subscribe to Wes's channel. Also, you guys know that have been here, you can put your channels in the chat, so hopefully people can go and subscribe to you, and other people's favorite channel can be Pilato's. But
or Rusty's.
Yes.
I got that from Room Workshop from his site. It's amazing.
What?
Yeah. Look at that. He spun that on his lathe. And these are all woods from Africa, my motherland. So, and that was he did that specifically for me. Shout outs to Runic Workshop.
So you actually got something from Runic, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. What are we doing?
That's see, I know where Rusty's going. Rusty is going to, okay, wait a second. Somebody got something free and it wasn't me. And now I'm gonna
not free. I bought it off the website.
Oh, there you go, Rusty. Go to Runic's website and you can have anything delivered that you want.
I bought it off the website.
Runic said, "Zip it, Rusty." Huh. What are we doing?
Wait a second.
Awesome.
What's this? Breaking news. Rusty, you claim I haven't made you anything, but you must be forgetting that I made you not want to watch my channel.
That guy.
You guys are, I needed this. I needed this tonight. It has been
nemesis situation. I didn't know it was happening. Yo, I love that. Rap battle. Let's go.
I needed this tonight. So yeah, put your channels in chat, and if you haven't subscribed to all the channels, subscribe to all the channels. And if you haven't subscribed to Wes's channel, please go subscribe to Wes's channel.
So as far as the woodworking stuff, so the wife and I, we're slowly getting better, at some stuff. We're making stuff. We're really enjoying, like right now I'm just enjoying making stuff and giving it to people.
Yeah.
I really like that. There's Christmas is coming up. I've got all kinds of gifts, that I'm making. And fortunately, working at the hospital, I know pallet wood's not the greatest, but you know what? There's a lot of oak. There's a lot of oak in pallets. Like I've got some oak, and I've made some stuff out of oak. And yes, there's a lot of pine, but some of the stuff that comes from overseas, I'm guessing it looks like oak. It's hard like oak. But yeah, I'm making all kinds of stuff, and you just the only bad thing about pallet wood is you have to really prepare it, pulling the nails out and cutting the bad parts out and all that. But Yeah.
Couple of things, Rusty. Amy Joe, be careful going home. And everybody, please go subscribe to Rusty's channel. I put his link in the comments. That way he can stop crying. Nobody subscribes to me. All right. Please.
Well, I got to put out content. Look, I know. Hey, you know what? Let me tell you this, Deland. Wesdoesit jumped on my live the other day.
Wow.
Rock on, brother. He was in there.
There you go.
Like, look. I was like, hell yeah.
Hey, Rusty, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
What's that?
Wesdoesit jumped on our live tonight.
No way.
No, he's here.
He is here. Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right.
Joseph Keller just subscribed. Cool.
Rusty.
Huh.
It is not the material at all that makes the material is just like the hammer. It's just a tool in it, right?
Right.
It is who is doing what it is that they're doing to it, and what the effort that they're putting into it is what makes it the thing, right?
Right.
And the more and I'm gonna just simplify it and say love. Because if you love something, you can obsess about it. And you can't obsess about what you don't really love, right? So
correct.
If you find a part in it that you can obsess about, that is a part of it that you can master, because that's one you can focus and hone in on. Picasso had a whole period they called it his blue period, right? All the paintings were blue. And they were blue because he was poor at the time. And blue indigo paint was the cheapest. You could get it cheaper than anything else. So he could continue to paint because he had the blue paint. But those renderings today are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than some of the other paintings. It is always in the artist. The artist is only really doing one thing by my definition. You're taking something that is physical and not particularly memorable or interesting, and you are doing something with it in an attempt to evoke a feeling or an emotion from another human being or a connection. And there's a whole generation of people that when I put this chunk of cherry on my neck, when they see me, they smile and go, yo! And that connection happens between humans. But prior.
Right.
So a friend of mine did a movie once called Every Scar and Dimple. And what it meant was there is character in your flaw. There is character in nail holes and wormholes. And like Dylan rescues wood out of the ocean and makes art out of it. And has his own feelings and his own emotions from the process of it, and makes his own connections from the process of it. So it's never all I've got is, and all I can do is, or all I have available is. Like, the biggest thing about YouTube for me when I started was I didn't want it to take away from my family. I didn't have any illusion that I was going to get rich or make any money. I said, I don't want to spend money out of my house for the channel. So pressure treated 4x4 left over from a post on a job I did, right?
Yeah.
Everything in this shop, that cabinet from a tear out, all of that wood that built that is from a tear out in the other side of that room where I pulled the whole room apart because I wanted to stretch out a bathroom space and build a room back in there. But all of this is recycled stuff from somewhere that did not make it to the landfill.
And that is awesome, and it's so correct. And chat's just going crazy on that. And first off, it's a lake. It's not an ocean. It's a lake, because Plato is correcting right now. It's a lake. It is a lake.
What do I know about water? I'm in Atlanta.
But Wes, just so you know, Wes, you were partially right. I swam across the ocean to get to the lake to get the wood, and then I carried the wood back as I swam back across the ocean. Okay, so
this is like a children's book.
But pallet wood, I've made some really cool projects out of pallet wood. I have a herringbone table, which is my desk in the house, that I made strictly out of pallet wood. So don't ever discount pallet wood, because Wes is right. It's the love that goes into your piece. Every piece is different. And part of
I love pallet wood. I know there's a lot of these other channels, the bigger channels, whatever, they kind of, look down on that stuff. I love it because, one, it's free. And I'm all about free, believe me. And I don't know. I just like making stuff, I just like making stuff.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. And I made it's not pallet wood, it's fence picket. But if you saw the video where I made that nice box with the drawer out of fence picket, I mean, you don't have to have expensive cherry, expensive oak, expensive maple to make nice stuff. Yeah. A lot of the cherry and oak that I have are left over from projects, yes, that I've made, either for people or for the house, but, and like your mom's table, Rusty, I mean, what did you make out of that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was all lumber from the big box store, actually. But, yeah, I loved making that thing. That's like my best creation to date, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't learn if you don't do it, Yeah. And you can't get better if you don't make a mistake. And you can't do it perfect the first time. So you have to make mistakes in order to get good at anything.
Yeah, I seen where, and I totally get it, that they said that 90% of woodworking is figuring out how to make your mistakes, not noticeable. It's like how to fix it, and I love that aspect of it. It's like, oh yeah, you gonna have to do, I have to put a plug in here and fill this back in, and
I was making a video with these floating shelves. Any video I do, if I make a mistake, I swear I try to leave the mistake in, because then I leave the mistake in, but I show how to fix it, because I think that's too many videos are out there of it being, a perfectly clean build every time. You got to do this, you got to do that, editing, nothing ever went wrong. I didn't misdo a joint, nothing. If I make a mistake, I leave my mistakes in, and then I show how I fix them. The floating shelf that I made for the house, what I did was, and I left this in there, I put the runners in for the drawer. I compensated for the runners on the width of the drawer, but what I didn't compensate on was the height of the drawer. So when I went to put the drawer in to the runners, the drawer was actually too fat
to get into.
So what I had to do was, I showed all that, but then what I did was I took it over to the table saw, the whole drill. I didn't dismount it. I didn't make a new one, nothing. And I rolled it, cut about a ½ inch off, and that drawer just slid in like butter.
I have done that.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. You leave those in, because and I thought about it. I'm like, man, I got to make a new drawer. I got to buy more wood. I done screwed all this up. What am I going to do? And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And if that don't work, then
right,
I will worry about it. And you can see it in the video. I was tickled, 3 shades of pink, as I'm sitting there holding the drawer in one hand and this 1/2-inch square of just wood in the other. It was like it was like I just won the lottery. So yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It is the tinkering. You know what I mean? It's like I used to say when I was younger, there's 3 things I'm good at. Pardon the audience. Fucking up, fixing fuck ups.
Oh, Mrs. Francis, did you have to bring that up? Oh. All right. So I was shooting a video and I was shooting some brad nails in. And I left this in the video if anybody caught it, and they did. Well, I was shooting a brad nail in and I missed. Actually, the brad nail went through the wood and went into my thumb. And all you could see was as I'm holding the wood, and I got the brad nailer, you hear, and then you see my hand just go all the way back by the back, and I'm covering up the blood with my pants. And that's I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Mrs. Francis brought that up.
No problem.
I mean, tell me you've anybody in chat that's used a brad nailer, please tell me you've never shot yourself with it, because everyone at some point in time has shot themselves with a brad nailer.
I have not yet, but that's because I watch everybody talk about, hey, you need to make sure your hands are clear, and yeah. So I have not shot myself yet.
Well, Rusty, let me give you a whole new level of fear on it. I'm 52 years old. Been doing this since 1992. The very first time I shot myself with a brad nailer was this summer.
Oh no.
Into base molding and hit the plate that blocks the electrical wires inside the wall. And that brad nail hit that plate, came back up and stuck. Like, and I had to pull it out, and it was like your eyebrow, like that's an inch away from it. Would have been disgusting if that 3-inch brad nail. Craziest thing ever happened.
Yeah, no, Michael S., you're right. No, I've never done a brad nail, but I did staple my finger one time. So yeah, there's that. I did. Yeah.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. And for everybody, here's the thing. For everybody in chat who's saying they've never shot themselves with a brad nailer, thank you, because you just jinxed yourself. And it's going to happen. So when you do, think of this smiling face right here looking at you when you go, oh, shit. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right, Plywood, take it easy. See you later.
Hey, Plywood, see ya. Kat was going to.
Oh yeah, I learned from my mistakes. My hand's nowhere near that now. Even when I think it's far enough away. Nope.
All right, Wes, how has the maker DIY community influenced the direction of your channel, or have they?
They have, because they help me connect. I have a lot of channel members via other channels who said, hey, go check out Wes and go hang, and there are so many channels and a bunch of individuals, and they do different things. Like,
right,
different camera views that I go, oh, I got to get set up where I can get a better view of my hands, like how Dallin does. Calvin's Calvin's Vice, I've been jealous of since I've been over there at Dad's workshop. I'm like, oh, I love that Vice. And the best thing I could find was like an automotive version of it that I can use. But that thing is so good for knife making and stuff like that. And I never would have thought of it. But I can watch other channels and learn what they're doing and get better at what I'm doing. I got my microphone from Palato. He sounds so good. He posted when someone else asked, I think it was Miss Heather, where to get it from. He did a whole video and then he posted a link, and then that's where I ordered my microphone. I'm not using it now, but that's where I got it, and it works great. So in that way, a lot of people helped me a lot.
Nice. So what is Tim? All right, you had to bring up a vice, didn't you, Wes? Man, I'm getting all kinds of crap because if there's one thing I do not have in my shop, it's a vice. And it's to the point to where Tim List started sending me videos and how-to videos and where to buy a vice and what kind of vice. And oh, I'm gonna get a vice. By the end of next year, Tim, I'm gonna get a vice.
This is 17 bucks. The one that I've got holding my desktop on, I purposed it into that instead of a vice, but it's a good vice. Was 20 bucks. And the Moxon vice I built out of a 2x6 and two $7 corner clamps. And I just took them apart, took the hardware off, and used the long screws for them. So you can build a vice real cheap. Real cheap. You can get a vice cheap.
The thing is, I've only needed a vice twice in like 10 years.
The second you get it, you'll need it every day.
All right. All right. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one.
But I understand. This is for my leg vice that I have yet to build. This is the hardware for it.
Okay.
I've had that for 6 months, so I get what you're saying. It's easy to stall out on a vice. If you're getting by, you're getting by. Like you can fasten stuff with F clamps and C clamps, and you know.
Yep. So, what is? I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. Where's the next level for Wes? I mean, you make knives, you make mallets, you do all kinds of cool stuff. What do you see trying next? Is there a next? What do you want to learn next?
I want to whatever, you know, it's like fishing for me. You know, you throw the worm in the water, whatever grabs it on the other end, that's what we eat. You know, so whatever I happen to run across that I think would be interesting to me to do is part of it. I haven't used my my planes in a while, so I'm trying to decide what kind of project I could do where I could use those. I don't like building stuff. Big stuff without a need for it already, you know what I mean? So like my patio furniture I built because we needed it anyway. All of this stuff in the shop I built because I needed, and that occupied maybe my first year of YouTube. And so now I'm really kind of getting to a place where I've got kind of a semi-functional woodworking shop as well, but I don't know. I'm just gonna have to go with whatever seems like it's gonna be fun and do the other stuff better. Like I make these knives and I make them out of my old table saw blades, but that's a good metal, but it's not a great metal. And then you've got to, if you heat treat it, it gets even better, that kind of thing. So once I know that that makes a better tool, now I'll never make another knife without doing that, because in my heart, I'll feel like I'm not doing the best thing that I know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
So
I want to say a couple of things. Tim, I was just busting your chops. I am looking into that vice. So just know I'm just busting your chops, because ever since it seems like the topic of the vice came up, everybody's mentioning vice now. So Tim, I'm just busting your chops. But Michael S. Wants to know, Wes, can you weld?
No.
And Runic also wants to know if you're going to be coming for his part of the paint shares of YouTube.
His part of the paint shares on YouTube. I have no idea what he's talking about. But
So like Runic's kind of got the market on painting and stuff.
Yeah.
So would that be the next endeavor?
Yeah. Wes paints it. There it is.
We did that. We did that live. We did that live.
Oh,
That's
Runic, awesome. There might be some competition there.
Now I do draw, and I do paint, and I do airbrush. I airbrushed in college for a while in the mall doing t-shirts and stuff like that. And in high school, we airbrushed. This was back in the day. So we airbrushed like our jean jackets and our jean outfits and our suits.
Oh, you are dating yourself there. Jean jackets, Oh yeah.
So I know my way around a little pache, a little Iwata, but I am nothing like Runic. Runic is so talented with that.
He is.
Runic said, "Just do it. That truck is going to look dope."
Oh, for sure. Listen, I'm definitely gonna do some. I'm gonna do some experimenting on that white truck because it's already ugly, so I don't think I can make it much worse. So when I start messing around with the paint on that one, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh, Suzanne says, I see a collab with Runic and Wes. And Michael S says, so he hasn't welded yet, right? No, Michael, he can't weld.
I am terrified of welding. I am terrified of it. I am afraid of welding, like I'm afraid of anything inside of my electrical panel. Once it's outside of that panel, I'll do whatever you want with it. But inside of that panel, I don't touch it. And welding has my heart beating too fast.
So Michael S is a welder. So maybe he can give you some tips when you're ready. Oh, and Suzanne just called you out. Rhinestone Suzanne. She said, "You can weld, Wes. I've done it. It's not bad." So if Suzanne can weld,
Listen, I'm not afraid to admit when people are better than me. You got more heart than me. I see that thing, that wand hit that metal and plasma blast it with a big face shield that you got to protect your very eyes from the disaster that's happening. I am 100% willing to let people who do that without my interference whatsoever.
And you know what? Since you described it like that, I am 100% a willing participant in letting Suzanne get burnt.
Absolutely. Hilarious.
Oh, man, I think they're calling you out. Runic says, "Bro, Suzanne learned to carve 2 days, just saying." Oh, this is turning into roast West. I didn't mean to do that.
I don't mind.
But
I don't mind.
we got about 10 minutes left. I want to be respectful to everybody. I want to be respectful to Wes, and keep this at about an hour and a half, and we're almost there. So if you guys have any other questions for Wes, or Wes, if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask. We'll be wrapping up in probably about 10 minutes, just to let everybody know.
Yep.
Yeah. What got you started on YouTube? Why did you decide, Dylan?
So I posted a video about this a year ago. I have really bad depression and anxiety. I've done woodworking for 10 plus years, and I was in a really bad spot a year ago, and I found I was sitting around the house, and sitting around the house made everything worse. So I decided to get outside and start working on some projects. Now, I've always wanted, Rusty and I had a bourbon YouTube channel, so I've kind of dabbled in that. I quit drinking, so that didn't really work out. But I've really wanted, kind of like you said earlier, the best time was yesterday. Well, my yesterday should have been 4 years ago. Because that's how long I've wanted to do a woodworking channel, but I just didn't feel confident enough to do it. Well, last year I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to start making some stuff. I'm going to throw a camera on. And if you watch one of my earlier videos, it's funny because I recorded the video with a trucker headset on like this for a microphone.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing. I go back and watch those videos every once in a while. So really, I started it to help with my depression and my anxiety and just the love of making stuff. And like we talked about earlier, having that library for the family, having that library for the kids. If anything were to happen to me where I was no longer here, they would have the videos as a resource to see me or to learn something. And I have a high tendency to want to teach people that want to learn. And if there's something that I know, no matter how minute it might be, I want to be able to put that out there. So, maybe somebody I don't know doesn't know how to use a table saw, doesn't know how to use a ruler.
That's big dad energy right there. Like you want to do that. Like that's for real. That's a thing.
Yeah. And so that's really why I started it. And then, the community, they've just been pulling me along, and, they opened up their arms with me. I just like, I'm sure they have with you. And they just said, you're here now, you're a part of us. And it just really gives the energy and momentum to keep going.
Yes. There has been, a buddy Rob of mine over there in UK, Depression Talks, I think is his channel. A very similar story, in some ways, unique like yours and others. I don't find that foreign. I think as a kid, I would draw to deal with anxiety. You know what I mean? Like there are kids that can't wait to go to the parties, and there are kids that can't wait to get home to quiet and find a hole by yourself you can be in,
Yeah.
I think that is who kind of becomes the makers of things, right? The people who can inwardly focus and then produce something with it. And it's startling, I think, how familiar that immediately becomes between people when you see it in other places. Like you say that, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it does. It gives you one, something to do with your hands. It gives you something to produce, to be proud of. You get those little hits of dopamine that we all need. And this community is so very good at supporting that.
Yep.
It's amazing. When I first went on YouTube, I did not know what a moderator was or what they did, really. And so I didn't talk much at all in my lives because so many nasty things could be said and trolls and stuff, right? And again, I think it was Calvin from Dad's Workshop that said, "You need a moderator. Make me a moderator." And I was like, "All right, you're a moderator." Right? And then my very next live, he moderated, and that was the live that got me enough views and enough hours to monetize and cross over.
Oh, nice.
And it had been at a snail's pace up until that moment and that live. And my whole channel is full of moments like that where other people jumped in and gave me a hand. Bearded Viking gave me a lot of shout outs in his chats before. He was very kind to me when I went in there. You know, so it's always been about kind of being humble enough to know that you don't know a lot. You know what you know, but there's a lot more out there
that you don't know. Yep.
And you can rely on other people for that, you know?
So I think something that skipped by a lot of people on the intro was the quote at the end, and I think it sums up you know what we're talking about here, and that is, we are born makers. We move what we're learning from our head. We move what we're learning from our heads to our hearts through our hands.
And Runic says, I want to read this. So it does not get lost at the end. I just want to say, great show, Delaney and Rusty. Thank you, Runic. Thank you so much for the love, Wes. Was great seeing you on tonight. So thank you, Runic. And it's always great having you here. It's always great having everybody here. But yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me, and thank y'all for watching. I've got my other phone over here trying to keep up with the chat, and then I've got my monitor up there, but that was my monitor, maybe doubling up or whatever. But I've been seeing like Michael and Carrie and Rhinestone Suzanne and Runic and a lot of people that are familiar to my chat too come through, and y'all have been really complimentary and nice and sweet, and I really, really appreciate it a whole lot. That makes my day.
And Jesse, thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate it. But we are going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. And Wes, when we end the live, don't leave yet, because we'll be backstage for a couple of minutes. But
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for being here. And you know, I say it every live. If it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Because you give me the driving force to want to continue doing this and to have other people on. And I enjoy these talks that we get to have with other creators. So, Rusty, you got something you want to say?
Thanks everybody for showing up every week, and thank you, Wes.
Wes, you got something you want to say?
Just thank y'all for having me on. This is so sweet. This is a good time.
All right. Awesome. Cue the porn music. That's right, Runic. Boom. That's going to be short. All right, everyone.
I mean, that's not porn music. That's just chill. What are y'all talking about?
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.